Mississippi. His team went 3-1 last week. Midweek win over Alabama, and then a series win at home to start conference play over Florida Atlantic. 9-7, 6-4. Lost game 3 yesterday by a final of 7-3. Scott, congratulations on winning the series to start conference play. Know you'd love to finish off the sweep when you got a chance to do so, but anytime you can get a series win against a good team, it overall is a good weekend, right?
Well, it is. Just disappointed to be in that position yesterday with the opportunity to sweep a good program and miss on that opportunity is a little frustrating, as you might know.
So I want to rewind a couple of weeks. We talked about this stretch. It was a 13-game stretch that started with the midweek game against Mississippi State. You had the two midweek games against South Alabama and Tulane. You had Alabama this past week in the midweek. Over those 13 games, you go 8-5 with a couple of series wins. I know that the Dallas Baptist trip was disappointing because you got swept, but now that those 13 games are in the rearview mirror, what did you learn about your team over a really difficult stretch?
Well, that we had to learn to play tired, in the middle of the week, that we were able to do just that, especially in those double midweek games against number one, an opponent, South Alabama, that had beat you 6 straight, trying to get that monkey off your back. So emotionally, you're kind of wrestling there, and then a good hot Tulane team that came in the middle of the week, like we talked about last week. Ranked 18th in the country, and having to really, really grind that one out for a win as well. But then, when the tiredness really kind of set in was, the long trip to Dallas Baptist, and we didn't respond well there. But, we had a chance yesterday to go 9-4 in that 13-game stretch if we'd have pulled out yesterday's game. But as a result of that, we didn't. We're 8-5. But, I still like this club. They work hard. I think every game there's an intent to obviously go out there and win it. And I know probably fans are going, what do you mean? Would there ever not be? But, yeah, sometimes there is with 18 to now 23-year-olds. They used to say 21-year-olds, but there may be some guys that are 23 and 24-year-olds. There lies that possibility that certainly could happen. So, but I don't see that in our guys. Our guys have played and played hard.
Did you feel like you got better offensively this weekend? You scored 9 on Friday night in the win, and I know that kind of happened in bunches where you got 5 runs in the third, and then you put a couple of 2 spots on the board late. But did it feel like that maybe you took a step forward offensively?
Yeah, I think we're right there on the verge of really taking off. And, we haven't played any games where, you can pad your offensive numbers by the opponent. I mean, I feel like that we've played a really, really solid and firm schedule up to this point, and we'll continue to do so. But, I think Saturday's game, I was so pleased, Richard, because we did a lot of things offensively that we had kind of missed on in prior games and opportunities, just simple things, just, situational baseball, just, ground ball, second baseman to score a run. And we're that on Sunday, yesterday, that same situational baseball opportunities came up. We weren't able to cash in on us, and I really believe that's what got us beat yesterday.
I saw the video clip on Friday night. You get the walk-off 2-run home run to win it, and the lights start flickering, and the place is going nuts. That had to be a cool moment for your ball club.
Well, yeah, it really was. I mean, it was a great crowd again. On Wednesday night against Alabama, we had the 4th largest crowd in the history of our program, and then the follow it up on Saturday night. On Friday night, everybody knows the program and the games that we've had against FAU. They're a big rival of ours, but a really fun rival. And a clean rival. Coach McCormack and myself have great respect for one another, as do our players from both sides. So it was really fun in that moment because it was a really tough game for both clubs, but for Lynch to deliver in that walk-off was pretty special.
Walk me through the Saturday game. You mentioned that specifically a second ago as feeling like you did some really good things beyond just winning on Saturday. So what were the things on Saturday in the series clinching win that stood out for you from a coaching standpoint and from a growth standpoint?
Well, Hunter Riggins, who's been really good for us on Saturday, a graduate transfer, a lot like Walker Powell. You and I have talked about him.
Yeah.
He went 5 2/3 innings against a really heavy left-handed hitting lineup against with Florida Atlantic, who really had some nice offensive numbers coming into the series. But all 6 innings that he pitched, Richard, there were runners on. They got runners on base, and he had to pitch around it. Now he did give up a 3-run homer there in the 5th inning that got us, but he really threw up a lot of zeros and minimized from that point on. But we had our relief pitchers. They inherited a total of 6 runners from the 6th inning to the 9th, and only one of those scored, so they did an outstanding job. We made some nice defensive plays. We didn't hurt ourselves there, didn't give them extra outs, but, I felt like it was the offense on that night that really, really helped us win that game. And it was just those little things. It was the situation things. It was a sacrifice bunt to move runners to 2nd and 3rd, and then the ground ball 4-3 to get them in. Just things that we work on every day that haven't really shown up in the box scores for us, this early season. But it did on Saturday, and I was just really proud of the way that our guys played. We ran the bases very aggressively and took advantage of some things that Florida Atlantic offered to us.
All right, so you mentioned that you get that good start on Saturday from Hunter Riggins, and then yesterday, Hurston Waldrop gets you into the 6th inning. He only gives up the 1 earned run in the game, and then it kind of gets away from you in the 8th. I guess you guys, have got a 2-1 lead going to the top of the 8th when FAU kind of explodes for the 5 runs?
Yeah, I don't know if you looked at that whole box score, but we struck them out 19 times, which I believe our Duggan, our SID, told me was a school record, and
wow.
And you get beat. So we also gave up 14 hits after striking them out 19 times. But they came at times that FAU needed them, and really a lot of them came right there in that 8th inning. It was just we couldn't get them out, and they were 2-strike approaches. I know the first 2 hitters that led off that inning for them both had 1-2 counts, and they were able to get hits to get it going. And then, if we'd have made one defensive play there, that was scored a hit, and it should have been. It was a tough play, but if we could have held on to that line drive, then we could have doubled them off, and they may have not scored any runs at all. But that's baseball, and a lot of times that's a game of inches, and certainly it proved to be just that in that 8th inning yesterday when they scored 5.
I don't know how you have a game where you have 19 strikeouts and you give up 14 hits and you still play it in 3 hours. I don't know how you did that.
I'll tell you, it was either strike out or get a hit, it seemed like. But, when you look at the 19 strikeouts, you go, good night, there's only 8 more outs to get. There's only 27 outs in that regulation game. So, but FAU did exactly what they needed to do at the right time, and Southern Miss didn't.
All right, so let's turn the page. 4 road games this week. Got to go to UNO, and that's never an easy place to go. And then you got to hit the road to Bowling Green. Give us a little bit of a preview of Western Kentucky.
Well, I'll be honest with you. They played Charlotte. They went on the road to play Charlotte, who has a fine club over there. Yeah. Really good club last year that has a lot of returners. And ended up losing the series, but got beat yesterday 13-12. To lose the series, but they were able to go in there and get one, and probably if you ask John Pawlowski, their coach, he would probably tell you we should have won the series. And it looks like that Western Kentucky is playing well. Looking at the long range forecast, it looks like every day up there is going to be in the 50s. I'm not sure what it's going to be on Friday, so it's going to be a little bit cooler than what we've been playing in here. And I think we're going to run into a club that's pretty physical. Offensively, I think they're going to be able to hit. Just looking at the numbers against Charlotte, Charlotte's got some really good arms, and it looked like they were able to put some runs up against them. So, this early in the season, everybody is still trying to figure themselves out once we start this conference, and trying to figure everybody else out in the conference as well.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to peek at those long-range forecasts and see all the first numbers of 7.